Oh, that was not at all what I meant to click. Spelljammer. Okay, here we are. There's our wonderful calendar. So, last session, you guys got armed. You guys were like, it's finally time to take a look at some sweet, great space weaponry and sweet, great and sweet weaponry they have. You guys got yourselves some keg throwers. You got yourself some arcane foci. You got a flamethrower. Fuck yeah, dude. Great space rocks. And you guys all debated why nobody has like imported these extreme weapons to realm space and not made a great profit off of it yet. And you know, maybe you guys are the ones to do it. Maybe you guys will be the Christopher Columbus of D&D. Yeah, we'll see about that. But in the meantime, the Pythia of Thessaly came to our wonderful paladin and imparted upon him a prophecy. Now, the prophecy was very, very vague, very, very hard to interpret, but luckily, you have someone aboard your ship who's pretty expert at interpreting such things. And she has directed you to the local asteroid belt, to where it was meant to be the battle, the place of battle between Zeus and an ancient titan of storms, where Zeus claimed his title as the great thunderer, the great god of lightning, by slaying this long forgotten titan. So you made your way in, slow and steady, careful as can be, and success was had. You guys did manage to infiltrate the asteroid belt to find the only structure seemingly within, which was this strange, like ancient monastery. And that's kind of where we pick up today. You guys also undertook another contract on another world, a water planet world, in fact. And yeah, we're going to see where that goes to in due time. But for now, the asteroid belt awaits. So you have just landed on this planet. Let's see here. Just finding. Let's see. That's what we got. This was. Okay, here we go. So here in the chain of Tyrannus, you have landed on this rather large asteroid. And once more, you have found this very large, ancient monastery-like place. No ruin, but it looks like it was made at the beginning of when people learned to lay brick. There are strange symbols strewn across it that none of you are able to interpret. And what would you like to do? You must pick your away team. You must decide what to do with yourselves.
Well, Hassan, Arendil, and Tidewalker.
Children trying to.
I believe the four of us will make do as a, well, an exploration party.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Ooh, I wonder if I can do this. Can I do this now? I can. Ooh, also, I look to, Callistra.
Yep.
Wish to come along, sister, or would you rather stay here?
I'm easy. I can come if you wish. I haven't seen a ruin this old before.
Well, in that case, more the merrier. And before we leave, I will cast Telepathic Bond on the five of us and Arian for the Spelljammer.
Hmm. Smart.
And yeah, and that'll do. Just so that if anything does happen, we can return to the ship, and we'll know.
Makes
Good.
sense. Makes
Uh,
sense. Good job.
and I will cast that as a ritual, so not to expend a spell slot.
Very cool. You do so. No problems there. That's a good move. Very good move. Okay, let's see here. You do so and prepare for travel off the ship. The back lands in the dust. You all step out. Callistra's in something a little bit more adventure based than any of the usual attire you've seen her in. I think she's actually wearing like proper leather armor now, or studded leather armor. The studs are like little spikes, by the way. So it's a little grungy and it's awesome. Um, and yeah, you all step off. Uh, it's still out here. There's no wind. There is air, you can breathe, but there's no wind. It's very, very still. All these rocks and asteroids float around. As you like step out, it is worth noting you do see like small rocks, very small rocks. Nothing of asteroid size, like nothing of like equal size to this asteroid, but it does sort of like float towards and then kind of like come shooting in, and then like a comet does scorch the land between you and the temple. It doesn't seem to happen often, but you are indeed in an asteroid belt, and anything could come at any time, which is dangerous. Luckily, your ship is pretty sturdy, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. All right, you're gonna just make your way across.
Yep.
All right, so we do. Alrighty then. Okay, you guys make your way across. I'm gonna roll a little random dice here to see how your travel across goes. There are a couple like comets kind of fall from the asteroid belt and like land in the wasteland around you, but none closer than like 100 feet. Nothing that ever brings any serious concern to any of you. And you do approach the very front of the temple. Again, that very strange symbol at the top. Callistra seems to get it, and she goes, "This is interesting. This isn't a temple to Titans. This is a temple to a primordial, to Uranus, the god of the sky. Well, not the god of the sky. He literally is the literal sky. Gaia is the earth, Mother Earth, Father Sky. This is a temple to one of the first deific beings in existence. I think a lot of spelljammers associate him with the astral sea, so I guess he's kind of the god of the astral sea, too.
What declaration?
Well, his
Interesting
son
place.
Sorry,
Interesting place to build such a thing.
I suppose. I like to imagine that when they built it, it's so old. Perhaps it was before. Excuse me. Perhaps it was before even the asteroid belt emerged, before that Titan was destroyed. It's entirely possible. It would have had to have been one of the first temples ever built in existence. Well, anyway, enough history lessons. Sorry, get a little distracted.
That was interesting.
Oh, thank you. Don't know what we're gonna find inside. Just probably skeletons, really. Just dead people. With that, you walk up to the door. The door is like solid stone. It is like thick, like solid stone, like a pyramid block. It definitely looks like it was meant to be open and closed, but you see no signs of hinges or anything of the like. This place is perhaps invented before the invention of the hinge. So it will require some strength, perhaps, to open, or a special key. Mr. goes, oh, well, I'm not into manual labor, so this is all you.
Basson, do you fancy giving me a hand trying to push this open?
And she'll get up and get to work with you.
I'll cast guidance on Arendelle. There you go.
Hey, all right, both of you make the athletics checks.
$25.
Oh,
7.
7. Yeah, Bassan, you're like, you guys put your hands on the door. Randall's like, okay, ready, 1, 2, 3. And it's that kind of thing where, you know, when you're like, someone's like, oh, help me with this, right? And there's like 4 of you helping. And it's that awkward thing where like everybody else is doing so good, but you're just kind of like I guess I could hold it. But like Arendelle just like, and with like a lot of strength you probably expect from an elf, just starts pushing the door open. Because the doors, they seem to be like, they're not very well built doors. They're very wide, so they're kind of flat against each other. So by opening one door, it kind of pushes into the other door and kind of pushes that open. So Bassan, you start pushing, but Arendelle's like, got it. And you're like okay, I guess I'll just, you're kind of doing the like, I'm helping. And Arendelle just, yeah, and then does the full like Aragorn, like pushes the door open, kind of walks in, does the little one step. And the doors open. They are thick doors, and they are like basically slabs that were like sitting on the ground and were like roped off to the walls. So they're like stupid, basically. That's the point. But you open it up, and there's this long hallway, but it does descend into the planet. So you have to descend. It is just a walkway, and there are, like, I don't want to say hieroglyphs because it's very Egyptian, but there are tons of like pictographs, like imagery along the walls that sort of descend into the bowels of this asteroid, this moon, if you will.
Can I look at the pictographs?
No, you can. Yes, of course. Go ahead and make me. I'll tell you what. Do you? I'm gonna say this because
Yeah.
I guess say Callistra doesn't even like. She doesn't go, oh, that reminds me of, like, she's not even gonna know, right? Like, this is this ancient stuff. But let's do a investigation check to sort of look at it and like attempt to. I'll give you insight too if you want to interpret it.
I'll take the same roll. If it's insight, that's 25.
25. Excellent. So you're able to interpret. Like, you see the scene, you see that there is this image of this like hulking bearded man, and you think that this is like probably Uranus. This is the god that they're depicting, because he's kind of up. He stretches from the ground to the top, and he's got a big beard. He kind of looks like Zeus, but he's not Zeus. So you're like, okay, that's the god. That's the sky. That's the god of the sky. It shows like what looks to be almost like creatures like coming out from outside of the actual wall, or the base of the wall, like coming out almost like out from under the ground. So like children appearing perhaps like from the earth. There's images of this like beautiful voluptuous woman kind of like laid down, and these creatures like coming out of her bowels. It's a little graphic, but not like intestines and stuff, but like kind of coming out of her stomach. And then those like creatures kind of like taking dominance of the world, and then you do see a bearded, a much smaller bearded gentleman with a lightning bolt. It depicts the story essentially of the Titan War. as you begin to interpret it. It shows the rise of the Titans, their domination of the world. It shows the Earth, Mother Earth, empowering the last surviving son of the King of the Titans. That son of the Titans tricking the King of the Titans, and releasing from his own bowels because he ate them. The gods themselves, and like a god war beginning, and it shows like various battles of characters you don't necessarily recognize. There are some myths in there that you're like, oh yeah, no, I heard of that. That's the birth of Athena, and it shows like the Smith god like smashing a hammer into the head of the chief god, and Athena springing out in full warrior gear and going to battle and slaying many titans. Or giants, excuse me. So it's just a series of like battles and mythologies from ancient times, but many of them are stories that none of you have heard of and can interpret to be like, oh, this is when Zeus killed that titan. This is when Poseidon gained his trident. This is who he killed with his trident. So these are like ancient myths that have gone missed by people. So if you were to tell like of this place or find a way to like get people here, it would probably be of immense value, or bring these stories or proof of these stories to Thessalys. You'd probably be like, this would be a huge discovery. This is like a little bit of Ark of the Covenant kind of situation. Not the Ark of the Covenant, but this is pretty important, mythologically important.
So don't look.
Big Indiana Jones moment for sure. But anyway, descend, and let's see. What do we see? Aha! You come to a door. You come to another door, but this door is really strange. It's not like the door up top. It's not like any other door you see. It is in a door frame, but it is a single slab of like glass, and it's not like nicely polished fine glass. It's like jagged wild glass, but it all does sort of like swirl, almost cloud like jagged metal, right? But it all kind of almost swirls around like a centerpiece where there is like a hand. So it all this jagged metal or glass, excuse me, jagged glass kind of wildly, just chaotically swirls around that center focal point. And above, there are words wrote in primordial. Does anyone understand primordial?
Nope.
Nope.
But let me check my spells.
Well,
Do I have
Tidewalker does. You brought the right person. She is, or yeah, primordial is like it's the elemental language. And she's Triton actually. My apologies. No, she doesn't speak.
No, doesn't like
Damn it, it's Cross who knows how to read languages.
I'm just gonna double check to see what languages Triton get.
You know, language is now tied to like your background and not so much species. Although maybe
Yeah, these days, yeah.
they might get it because I think it's tied to.
Oh yeah, she gets it.
Oh yeah.
Yep, she gets it. Triton, start with primordial. Okay, she will look at it. She'll say, it's a riddle. It says, who among the sons of thunder may wake what once was chained? Huh. I don't know what that means, but that's what it says.
You're amongst the sons of thunder.
Who amongst the sons of thunder may wake what once was chained?
Well, I would imagine it would be the person that put him here, would it not?
Who are the sons of thunder?
Callisto will say, I mean, the only real thunder god is Zeus. Zeus has also had many children.
Were any of them chained?
I think there were different stories about some being enslaved, but I can't remember specifically. Like, put into slavery for very brief periods of time before breaking free with might and zeal and all of that.
That's not even taking into account the demigods.
Well, oh yes, you meant his, oh right, his divine children. Well, he had divine children, yes, and he had countless demigod children.
Are any of them associated, maybe not with slavery, but with chains?
She thinks. She goes, the smith god Hephaestus created, there's different stories about him creating nets and chains and binding people with them. I suppose.
That doesn't sound like it's what they're looking for.
No, I don't think so either.
Did Zeus ever once imprison one of his sons?
Never imprisoned any of them. At least as far as I can remember, he did punish them. There was one story about a divine rebellion, and they temporarily captured Zeus with chains that Hephaestus created. But he broke free eventually because he had many allies, and he punished the various gods for their rebellion. One of which he sent his brother Poseidon and his son Apollo to build the walls of some ancient city. He chained his wife to the clouds, and until she swore an oath never to betray him again. But in all honesty, I can't think of any deep association with chains as far as his sons go, other than the creator of chains. But I don't think that's it.
Is it possible? No, sorry.
Who among the sons of thunder may wake what once was chained?
On the table, I think I know the answer, but I don't know if Ethelred would know.
Well, why don't we try and do a knowledge check to align, or see if we can align that?
Okay.
Why don't you make me a religion check? I don't know what you think it is, but go ahead and make it.
22.
Well, why don't you tell us what your thought is? Just gonna get a tissue. I'll be right back. But go ahead.
Perhaps, I mean, running down the list, I have maybe a hunch. Ares?
Are there any sleeping gods, sleeping deities? If was someone kept punished after Zeus had finished making his examples?
Myself, I'm not too sure, but if you believe that might be the right answer, then let's give it a go.
Did you hear my answer, Ryan?
You said Aries.
Yes.
Okay. What do you do with that? You just say Aries?
Yep. Just gotta push the door and
Okay.
go, Aries.
Yeah, nothing happens. You kind of
Ah,
hurt your hand. You maybe struggle to find like a good place to put your, other than that one hand, maybe put your hand where the hand thing is and try to push. You're like Aries, try to push, but nothing happens.
mm, well, worth a shot. Um,
You said that there was like a kind of a hand with swirls.
Yeah, it's basically like a wall of like jagged, like wild glass, and it's also kind of swirled around a central like hand. So that's really the only place you can put your hand on the door without like slicing your hand open.
Right. These are sons of thunder. Aranda will just put his hand on there and just say Zeus, just to rule that one out.
Okay, put your hand on, say Zeus. Um, no, nothing happens particularly, but you do feel um, like the sizzle of lightning at your fingertips from your own power, your own divine power. Because I
Okay.
believe you do have some spells.
Yeah,
Your
I do.
yeah.
Well, I wonder whether.
just, I don't know, on like out of curiosity, can I just cast detect magic just to kind of get a sense of what the door's even enchanted at all?
Sure. Yes, it most certainly is. It is enchanted with divination magic right at where the palm is, and what seems to be in like almost lightning shaped ripples out towards the edge of the doors.
So, where is it? My
And so then if you have a spell that
I have a few lightning spells, and I have a few ways of creating lightning. So, where is it?
worth a try.
I will use recording, isn't it? Wait. Well, I wonder whether it's going to be lightning. I was thinking thunderwave, but
Oh, that's
just to see,
Sonic.
yeah. But yeah, no,
Callistra says, I mean, says son of thunder.
that's
Zeus
what I
is
was
usually
thinking.
considered the god of lightning, but it says thunder. Could be worth the try.
Well, it could be interpreted that the child of thunder is
Mm,
lightning. Although
That
usually
is true.
see the lightning first.
okay. So one of my use one of them. have a channel divinity, which is I can use what's it called? Fulminating strike. I can imbue a weapon which does deal its normal damage and it's a ranged. It becomes a ranged attack. Can do 100 feet, deal lightning damage at the end of the turn.
Okay. Which weapon do you mean to infuse with lightning?
I want to use, but I think the mace, because that's the mace of disruption as well. So that might
Hell yeah.
lean into that. So yeah, I'll do that. So I use one of my channel divinities. I'll do that fulminating strike. Actually, is that not? Actually, that's not, is it? That's just a bonus action I can use once.
Yeah, I believe it's
yeah. So I'll use that then. And I'll use the Mace of Disruption while doing that. So I get a 1d8 on top of that, which is lightning.
fantastic. You do this. Oh, I have my music. Sorry, hang on. Oh, there it is. Oof, that's loud. Oops. Okay, you take up the Mace of Disruption. For the first time, you kind of fuse lightning through it, and your mace all but becomes like a bolt of like a spear of lightning in your hands, and you want to like put her right in the middle there.
Yeah, right where the hand mark is.
You take it and you throw it there. As you do so, it doesn't. So, Athrith, as you're looking at it through your detect magic, you see what Arendelle does. Like, you see that the divination kind of, like the magic behind it, kind of shatters. Like, you don't get the sense that what Arendelle did interacted with the door that it was meant to be interacted with. It more sort of destroyed the magic inside of it, and was basically like, "Fuck your." It was sort of like a moment of like, "Fuck your riddle," very Zeus, where it hits it, and the hand just sort of like the magic there sort of explodes. It kind of creates a shockwave as it goes through the like lightning bolts to the side, like destroying the magic within, and the entire glass wall just like explodes. And all of you kind of like put like guard your eyes and whatever. It explodes in that direction, so there's no worry about like damage. But basically, like, while this thing wasn't meant to take lightning in this way, it also wasn't meant to stop lightning in this way, if that makes sense. And you just blow the door. You huff and you puff and you blow that door down. And like the lightning bolt reappears in your hand. And with that, that riddle will never be a problem for anyone ever again. Within, you are going to see a most interesting sight. Amazing. You are going to see quite a sight. You are going to see this this massive chamber. It is vaulted, so the astral sea does kind of shine down. So up top, you can see like the roof. Well, actually, excuse me, you can't see the roof. There is a hole that goes through, and you can see the astral sea and the asteroids, and the sky is revealed into this room as light pours down into this massive central chamber. Behind, well, I'm going to tell you what's most prominent in the scene. I'm going to stop building anticipation there. you see bound in chains, arms and like shoulders around the neck, and sort of like kneeled on the ground. You are going to see this Titanus figure, like huge, giant, big enough probably to like grab your not grab your ship like with their body, like maybe get a good grip on it, maybe stall its ability to fly. It towers maybe 15, no, more than that. It's about 25 feet tall, probably at full height, but right now it's kneeling, and it is dilapidated. It looks like it's just had pieces of its arms shaved down. It looks like it's had like pieces of its body carved off. It looks almost a little bit like a stone giant who's been maimed horrifically. It still has arms and legs and looks mighty, but it's severely like carved down. This person is bound in these chains, like golden gilded chains, and behind this figure, again, sort of like kneeled as such, like a bound prisoner. Behind him are these very strange but powerful looking siege engines of war, engines creations of Hephaestus bearing the power of his father Zeus, weapons that possess lightning. One that looks almost like some kind of like primordial generator that has like a storm cloud within like a crystal sphere at the epicenter of this strange device, and another one that looks like it's built to like throw lightning bolts from it, like a ballista that was armed with lightning bolts. They're sort of stored amongst the panels of the wall like holy relics. And this being, you hear like the sound of almost like rock clashing against rock as it moves its head upward and looks at all of you, and you see lightning sort of shock and storm around its eyes. Its eyes are a flurry of like black cloud lightning. And it speaks in the primordial tongue with a deep reverberance, like there's a storm inside of that stony chest. And Tidewalker will translate. She says, it's speaking. It says that it is the storm-forged emperor. And then it speaks its name. It says, Telathos. And it is at this time that you are going to note that it does have one eye in the center of its head. So it is some massive cyclops-looking creature. And it speaks, or Tidewalker will say, but as it kind of looks over you all pointedly with its one eye, Tidewalker says, should I say anything? Should we wait? What do we do?
Just translate if you can.
Okay. It looks down at you all and says, and begins to again talk in this strange language. And Tidewalker says, it recognizes one of the Thunderer's children, but it does not recognize us as worthy.
I'm asking what this child of thunder has to do to become worthy.
Okay. And she sort of clearly speaking way faster than him. And then the creature sort of furrows its single brow angrily. And it says, it starts to speak again, and Tidewalker will translate and says, He says that it's our choice. He says that we can, but we have to prove to him. We have to prove to him. He's saying, show proof, or die. Show proof or die.
Okay. I'm gonna do something really stupid.
Isan is going to look at Callistra and say, have you heard of this individual?
I never thought I'd be a religious expert. I suppose that's silly of me, considering. I have heard of the Cyclops. There are many, many Cyclops, but there are a few very popular, famous ones. Ones that were the personal allies of the Olympians. There was one that was said to forge the lightning bolts of Zeus himself. I don't think it's this one. I don't recognize the name, but perhaps this is one of the particularly powerful Cyclops that serve the gods. He does, and he does not look like a normal one. He does seem to have something divine about him.
I'd like to know why he's in chains and who put him there and what we risk by freeing him before we go proving ourselves worthy.
Conversation.
She wasn't looking. That was not out loud. That was like specifically to Veranestra. That was not to Tidewater.
Oh, right. You're talking to. Sorry, I apologize. I got my NPCs mixed up. She doesn't say that. Sorry. Calanestra says, well, okay. I suppose. She kind of shrugs at you.
Yeah.
Well, from what we know, Zeus's bound him and chained him here after defeating him. Is that not the case? That was the stories.
She goes, I don't know of any stories where the Cyclops were bound. There were many Cyclops in mythology, though. So it's possible. There were only said to be 3 that actually served the Olympians. This could be one of them, I suppose, but I don't recognize the name.
Okay. So that above the table, the only thing I can think of is by hitting him with something lightning. I don't know whether that's going to work because I think he might, yeah. Or there's something else I can do. I have a Hexblood Venom. If I was able to throw that into the Cyclops' mouth and then make him and see what that does to him, because then that's like a hallucinogen, I believe, poison hallucinogen.
Something along those lines.
I think we said.
Could we, before we attack the big thing in chains, could we find out who he is and maybe why he's in chains?
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe we should do that before attacking or proving ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Tidewalker says, do you want me to ask?
Please do.
Okay. She will speak and translate as he retorts. Says this is. He says that he was once the personal smith of Zeus, um, but he is now bound here to guard uh, what he calls the cure of rights. It's a word. I don't think that's a primordial word. It's probably a name. Against unworthy mortals on behalf of his master. It says he failed Zeus, and this is his punishment.
But how did you fail this?
His voice sort of you see there's definitely like agitation on his face now, and he kind of kind of like against the chains, and the whole room sort of reverberates in this sort of like moment of like kind of like anger, and he speaks loudly now. And she goes, he didn't like that question. He says, we're here to talk about you and your worthiness, not me.
To be fair, the only way of worthiness that I can show is using the power gifted to me. If anybody else has any other ideas, then
It may not be necessary. Tell this creature about our mission, why we need those machines behind him. Tell him all about the Illithid and the threat they pose.
Okay. She proceeds to. And the creature responds, and she says, "It's Talithos says that your mortal concerns are no concerns of his, only that you are worthy to accept them, these gifts of Zeus."
Oh, this mortal. What more? Doesn't care about mortal concerns. Oh, joy.
okay.
Well,
How far are the siege engines from me? How far am I from the siege engines? What's the distance?
They're pretty far away, and they give them, and they're large. They're pretty
Mhm.
big siege engines. Let's see here. Um, just I'm just gonna do a little grid over here to kind of. Okay. So he's a big guy. He's considered a huge creature. So
Mhm.
you're on the opposite side of him. He's about 15 feet. I'd say they're about, let's say, 75 feet away from where you're currently standing.
And maybe have a way to get us all around this beast, as in everything. It just depends on whether that's what you want to do. We can get to the ships. It's what happens when we get there.
we don't have time to be kind. He wants us to prove they're worthy. Then draw your weapons.
Well, no. Um, let's wind walk past him over to the siege engines and see what we can do when we're on there without fighting. If we have to
As
fight,
a
Do you want?
reminder, just about. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you honestly think you're just gonna let you walk past him?
We won't be walking, it will be air.
I feel like I'm
So-
getting my wires crossed. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you
So,
suggesting you're going to
sorry,
do?
right, so wind walk, we can turn the gaseous form, fly over there. It takes me a minute. We've got it up for 8 hours where we can go in and out of being a gaseous form. But it takes a minute to do each action.
I guess my follow-up question is why? I'm trying to like figure out what the goal is.
Well, the goal is to get past him without fighting him, to get to the siege engines, see if we can just take them.
How the siege engines? They're gonna be like huge.
There's a
Yeah, they're
few.
pretty big. They're certainly heavy. I'd say one of them is large size, the other is huge sized.
Okay.
Uh, I'd say they're both large. They're both large size. They're not. Yeah.
Keep in mind, I have a strength score of
Or even
6.
use them against him. But that's fine.
Yeah.
I suppose the only thing we can do then is to, if you want to fight your way through, let's fight. Although he is chained, I don't know how much of a battle it's going to be, and is it right to try and destroy this creature that is in punishment?
Who knows how long it's been chained up here for? And like I said, we don't have the luxury of being kind, particularly when the alternative is what? Freeing it, even though it refuses to tell us what it did.
Okay.
It's not leaving us many alternatives, and its deliberate vagueness on prove yourselves with what does it even mean? Worthiness is subjective. So I refuse to play into some foolish charade. We need those weapons to deal with the illithid, and I'm not going to let a chained up Cyclops stop me.
Okay. There's your orders, Captain. Let's
Draw your weapons, we're taking these by force.
And so as weapons are drawn, the Cyclops sort of like, and then he pulls the chains from the walls and stands up to his full 25-foot height and stalks over you. As the chains dangle from him, you see like there's a swirling of like storm wind inside, and you see even sleet begins to sort of form this like gauntlet of like jagged sleet ice up the side of his like arm. And he kind of growls, and as he does so, the storm seems to react to him. And let's roll initiative.
I really wish I'd cast Mage Armor beforehand, but I don't think it would have mattered anyway. That was a good roll.
That's a good roll as well. Natural 20 for 22.
This may make all the difference. And I may
I go.
achieve something that has never been done in a D&D table ever if this works out well.
Okay, very exciting. Okay, I need to roll for the big guy. It's gonna be pretty good. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Oh, so they're going to do. I want to use the new ones. A reason to do. Okay. What did? Let's go around. Oh, I guess I got to roll for your allies too. I guess you get to have friends. Seems fair. Excuse me. Sorry. All right, Captain Nestra. Tidewalker out. Oh. She's getting a little pumped up. Okay, let's see here. Use this one. Use this one. Okay, I'm gonna roll for our. Let's roll for the witch. How does she do? Okay. And let's roll for the our Triton, who has become a more powerful warlock as of late. That's going to be pretty good on her part. It's going to be 15. Okay. What did you get, Basan?
24.
4, thank you. Captain?
18.
Excellent. And last but not least, Rendell. What'd you get?
22.
Excellent. Put it all in order, and let me put on some battle music, and we'll get to it. Yeah. We're not in space. We're not using that one. Let's do this one, because why not? Okay. Okay, we begin. The storm and sleet swirls down through the open roof. The anger and wrath of this Cyclops that has been imparted with some power of Zeus stands over you, prepared to do battle. But lucky for you, it is not his turn. It is Basan's turn. Basan, what do you do against Talathos, the storm-forged Cyclops?
I don't know if you want to count this as a bonus action, or I don't know what it is, but she's going to look at her familiar, her owl, and say, "Tell Saeed there's a good fight he's missing."
Huh?
And send the...
Yep, I believe it has its own turn, if I'm not mistaken. It just can't attack. So it just kind of like, whoo, and it starts flying straight up to make its way out of the open roof.
Perfect.
Calling in the air support.
Good shout.
As a matter of action economy, how do you want to count that?
However it is to command a familiar, which I believe is just...
I think it's a free action, but I don't want to make any assumptions, as I have not done that.
I think I think it has its own turn, and you can commune with it telepathically as long as it's within 100 feet. So I think you're good. I think that's just something else. You're good.
All right. Well, shit. Am I actually gonna go attack this freaking thing? God Almighty!
Wanna run in?
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna run in and hit hit it with my sword.
You run in.
Kinda.
30 feet,
Yeah.
right up to him.
All right. So that was a 1.
Ah!
And she
you,
falls over.
And you like smack him in the shin. Your blade just bing bounces right off of it as he's got like a really large shin guard. You just kind of got a little in the moment.
Let's try this again.
The Cyclops looks down.
That's better. All right, so that was a 19. I'm sorry, an 18 with a plus 11, so that was a 30.
Yeah, 30 will hit. I think 30 might hit.
Cool beans. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw my psionic on top of this, so the damage for that will be. Oh wow. 8 plus 7, so 15 radiant damage. And I'm going to go ahead and action surge.
Okay, 15 radiant damage. As you slash him with your radiant blade, you are going to notice that it does half damage. This being is a celestial being, and your blade does damage it, but not quite the way you might have hoped.
What a pain in the ass. All right. I'm still gonna action surge.
All right.
Even if I'm doing half damage, I'm still gonna go ahead and do that.
Sure.
So let me go ahead and take the next 2 attacks.
All right.
All right. So that is a 29 to hit.
29 will hit. Jesus, these numbers. We're level fucking 9. What do you mean 29 to hit?
Well, keep in mind she has a plus 11 on the sword. So if I roll well, it's cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that's so I psi empowered the last one, and it was 8 plus. It was like 8 plus 7. The 8 was radiant, but the 7 was force. Does that matter? It doesn't have to matter.
Yeah, it matters. You didn't say that you were doing anything psi related.
Yeah, I said I was going to psi empower the. I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, it's all good if you did. I just, I need to know about it.
I apologize.
Okay, it's all good. So give me those numbers again. You said it was 8 radiant damage?
It was 8 damage radiant because I rolled a 1 for my damage. And then
so
the psi
4 damage.
So then the psi empowered strike was a 7, so that's 7 force damage.
Okay, so yeah, force damage seems to affect it just fine. It takes the full 7.
All right, cool. So on this other one, if that one hit, that's 10 radiant.
Okay, 5 radiant.
And I'm going to go ahead and psi empower this one as well.
All right.
For a whopping 3. Jesus, I cannot. Apparently today is not the day.
All right, 3
dice.
psychic or force, 3 force. All right.
And I think
Last
I got
attack.
my last attack. That is a. What is that? That's an 8. All right, so 8 plus 11. 8 plus 11 is 19.
19 damage. Or 19 to hit.
19 to hit.
19 does not hit.
All right. So that's that.
Okay. Yeah, it's mostly like it's got like the the usual like cyclops side sash thing. It's got some very basic like plates that are there more as like restraints that have now been broken. But his just divine form is very powerful, and if this is but a mere smith to the king of gods, you can only imagine the power instilled in the gods themselves. And that's going to be a legendary action. You smash it, and it is going to look down at you. It's going to bring its fist around and kind of... It's going to smite you. I'll try to. Alright. That is going to be a 30 to hit. All right,
Silvery barbs?
Yeah, sure. I'll try again. It's going to be a 28 to hit.
Well, I tried.
You tried. We appreciate that. Who do you want to give advantage to?
I'll give it to Rendell because they're next.
Okay. I'm going to roll the damage here, but as it lays into you, Basan, I want you to roll me... Oh, there's no roll. I don't have enough d6s. Here, we're just going to do this. That's 19. You're going to take 23 force damage and be stunned. As its magnificent power just smashes into you. The titanic power is just barely more than your body can resist. Just being blown to smithereens. This is interesting. You can choose, in this moment, Basan, as you're being hit, you can choose to, like, defend yourself and, like, be stunned. Basically, like, your brain will take the energy rather than your body. Or you cannot be stunned and take extra force damage. Extra lightning damage.
Let's take the lightning damage.
All right, you're going to take 21 additional lightning damage.
That's fine.
Instead of being stunned. And that boom smashes into Basan. You all see that. And that will bring us to your turn, Arendelle.
You have advantage.
Okay. Yes, I know. Which then makes me change what I'm going to do. The thing is, I don't... something else planned, but I think I'll change. So, yeah, okay. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to swing twice. Once for the mace, once for the sword. I'll go with the mace first.
All right.
Oh my god. 22.
22 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
And that's right, so that's 5 bludgeoning, 9 radiant.
5 bludgeoning, 9 radiant. So the 5 bludgeoning will go by just fine. The 9 radiant will be reduced to 4 damage because it is resistant.
And with that, that also gives him disadvantage on his next attack roll.
All right.
And then for my second attack, I'm going to go with this adamantine sword. 22 again.
22 will hit.
And that's 6 piercing, and that'll give me advantage on my next turn.
Beautiful.
And then, as a bonus action, I'm going to Divine Smite in there.
All right.
No.
I assume you're standing next to Basan, or is that where you want it to be?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I would have moved in there.
Yeah. Just checking.
I'll Branding Smite on this one.
Oh, we're pouring everything in. All right. Good job.
And that is it's not 9 radiant damage. So
9 radiant damage.
and that'll be end of turn.
Is that it for everything? That was a lot of stuff you poured in there. So you hit him. You did Branding Smite.
Yeah. So 2 attacks. Mace and sword, and then as a bonus action, Branding Smite.
All right. With your Branding Smite, oh, you prepped it for your next attack on your next turn.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, you brand him, and you like club him in the leg, and you kind of open him up for another blow, and he kind of turns over, and he's going to kind of lean back and kind of roar a great roar up to the sky, and as he does so, almost like the astral wind seems to flow down in this moment. He's going to bolster himself and give himself 10 temporary hit points, an advantage on his next attack. So that will even out what you've done. On his turn, he is going to put his hand up to the sky, and in his strange, he's going to speak in his strange tongue. Kind of roar angrily. As he does so, there's going to be, he kind of like grips his fist, and there's going to be the sound of thunder as he casts Storm of Vengeance. In that moment, a churning astral cloud forms up above the open dome ceiling, and lightning flashes, thunder booms, and strong wind roars. The clap of thunder is so intense that I need everybody, including your enemy, to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay, he saves.
23.
You save.
Right. Basan, you've got you're in my aura of protection as well because we're close.
Nice.
So you get a plus, I believe it's +5.
$23.
You save. Tidewalker fails, unfortunately.
Mine's a 21.
And you succeed as well. Calanestra fails as well. So just your NPCs. They are going to fail. And because they failed, they both grab their ears and kind of cry out. They are both going to be considered deafened for an unknown amount of time and take 10 thunder damage each. Okay. Okay. That is going to be his turn. I believe that is going to be his... Oh, no. You know what he's going to do? He's going to accept any opportunity attacks given, and he is going to, with all this wind flowing in around him, he is going to gain a fly speed. He's going to... He gets a lift off the ground. Basan and Arendil, you two both may make opportunity attacks if you wish, as he is going to hover up into the middle of the room, about, let's say, 20 feet off the ground.
Oh, right, so I can use a spell as a reaction.
If you're a warcaster, I suppose, yeah.
So I'll tell you
You're a
what.
warcaster.
We'll just go with the mace for the moment.
Alright. Well, keep in
20.
mind, that mace, 20. 20 will hit. You do have Branding Smite on it, so you will get that on this.
So, 6 bludgeoning, 6 radiant, and then 2... And that's another 8 radiant, so 4.
Right. And I believe because there was a Branding Smite, he needs to make a con save?
No, it's just... No, it doesn't say anything about that on there.
Oh, okay, he's just branded. There's no...
Yeah.
Yeah, so you slam into him in this moment, and we'll say, like, where you hit, there's this, like well of, like, a lightning that kind of shocks around the area that would make it impossible for him to be invisible. All right, fair enough. Well done. Basan, did you want to take an opportunity? Go for it.
That is a 21 to hit.
21 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Fuck with these ones. All right, 8 for 4.
What kind of damage? Just radiant?
Yeah, just radiant. So 8 total
Okay.
for 4. Yeah, I've rolled so many ones on
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it's
Okay, that will bring us to the end of his turn as he summons the Storm of Vengeance. That will bring us to our lovely Dragonborn Captain. What would you like to do?
Okay, I'm gonna bonus action and 8 sorcery.
All right. The mist of Hecate flows from you.
And I have a feeling that I may as well try, because I have alternatives. I'm going to... How far away am I from this? I mean, he's obviously 20 feet in the air, but like, distance-wise...
Distance-wise, oh, I love doing this. Let's see here. I got 30 feet.
I'll move back just so I'm not in like punch range.
You'll move back.
Yeah, I want to be back a bit.
You want to be out of punch range.
Yeah, I want to be
fair,
out of
Athra.
lightning range. After hearing the damage that this arm took, I don't want to deal with that.
Fair enough. You back up 10 feet towards the doorway.
Yeah, and I will cast Hold Monster.
Hold monster, you son of a bitch. All
Give me a
right.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save. He does get advantage on this because he bolstered himself. He gets advantage on his next d20 test. So... Wisdom. He does roll... Come on, brain, you can do this. Sorry, 21.
Fuck. He saves.
Yeah, so sorry, he is. Yeah. You try and bind him, and he kind of. So here's what we'll say as a cool note: if you put your hands up, and the power of Hecate wraps around the ends of the chains that he's broken, and they start dragging themselves to the walls, and he kind of like forces his will and pulls out of your power.
Ah, I thought he wasn't that wise, but maybe I'm the idiot.
Some Han Solo vibes. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I guess that's that. But it's actually,
All right.
movement. Yeah, that's everything.
All right, it's Tidewalker's turn. Tidewalker, what have you got for us? She kind of like got her. She's like holding her ear like this, holding her trident. She kind of lets go. You see like the blood coming down her ears from the thunderclap. Let's see, what we going to do? Okay. Oh, this is kind of interesting. She's going to run up, and she's gonna like point her trident in the air, and some of the cyclonic wind in the place is going to swirl around her trident, shoot up into the air. And since the room is sort of like a circle, you're going to see above where your party is, this wall of wind is going to shoot out of the wall and kind of create some cover above you, but it is going to lance into the now floating Cyclops, who is going to need to make a strength save to see if he can remain aloft. He is magnificently strong, and there is no issue on his part. But that might be handy later. So it is technically 15 feet high. So we're going to keep a note of that. So Etherith, herself, and Kilinestra are under the wind wall right now and are protected by it from anything that may fall from the sky. That's going to be her turn. Kilinestra, however, is going to similarly remove her hands, and there's going to be some blood coming out of her ear, and that's going to make her not so happy. She is going to send a hex on the big man, selecting strength. And let's see here. Oh, the enhanced hex, huh? It lasts for an hour now. Okay. She's like whispering curses and hexes under her breath. You see the strength of the being diminish as she does so. To go for a little dance. Nah, that's not too helpful. You know what? That's boring. She kind of like sees the blood on her hands, kind of like angrily looks up. So forget the hex. She's going to step up, and she's going to whisper again these words under her breath in some abyssal language, and she is going to draw her hands into the air and kind of like call out to her mother, and she is going to perform a circle of death. So he's going to make a con save, which he succeeds because he is a big guy. That's going to be 8d6 damage halved. That's going to be 15 necrotic damage to the big guy. And that'll be her turn. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, her hex is extra bad. Oops, that's not good. Okay, that's going to bring us to the top. Hassan, what would you like to do?
I will take my movement back so that I'm not right underneath him.
Okay, how far back do you want to go?
I would like to be closer to the door, but I do not want to be clumped up next to everybody. I do kind of have an idea of sort of where people are, but I don't know exactly, so.
You look back towards the door, and they are spread out 10 feet from each other, but you do see Calanestra, Tidewalker, and Etherith, who is the furthest back. So if you want, maybe you could break the difference between Calanestra and Arendelle.
Perfect, I will do that.
Okay, so you step back about 15 feet. So you're not fully in a clump, but you are, a little ways back now.
Good, I just want to check something real quick. I will go ahead and bonus action second wind, because this is probably a good time to do that.
Fair enough.
And then I am also going to cast, I'm going to draw my staff and cast Wall of Fire in a sphere around him.
I do believe your wall needs to be connected to a surface, yeah?
Yeah, but isn't it like, how much higher is he?
He's 20 feet up in the air. You can certainly put it on a wall where it will be touching him, but you're not gonna cover the entire wall of the room, unfortunately.
Fuck. Sorry, there's just not really a whole lot that I can do.
That's fine.
You know what I will do? I will cast Protection from Evil and Good.
Hey, not bad at all. Not a bad choice. All right, you are defended from beings such as the one you are fighting now. Well done.
And that is everything that I can do.
Okay. He is going to take a legendary action. He is going to look down at you, Arendelle. He's going to bring his icy hand back up into the air. A bolt of lightning is going to shoot down. He's going to grab it. Well, actually, he doesn't. No, what happens is this bolt of lightning shoots down from the sky, kind of hits the inside of his hand, his arm's kind of thrown back, and it almost bounces off the inside of his hand down at you. And he is going to try and smite you. Okay. I need a d20. Here we are. So he has disadvantage on his next attack roll, right? All right, so this will be that. He will take the disadvantage. That is going to be only a 19 to hit. Well, it's small for him.
Meets it, beats it.
Shit. Okay. That is going to be 36 radiant damage. As this bolt, not necessarily of lightning, but almost more like it's shaped like lightning, but it's more celestial than anything, and it blasts into you. And that is going to be his legendary action. What do you do, Arendelle?
Okay. I'm gonna cast lightning bolt.
All right, you bring your hand back. Maybe you do the same thing, except you do it better. You put your hand up to the air, a bolt of lightning shoots down through the storm, you grab onto it, you pull it back, and you throw it at it. He needs to make a dex save, right?
He does. 12 is my DC, unfortunately, at the minute, because changing it didn't do anything from the stats.
Oh, yeah. I gotcha. That is going to be... a 19 for him.
What's that? 27.
Still working on your accuracy, we'll say.
Yeah. 27, is it half? Should be half. Yeah. 13.
13 damage. He takes the full damage. He seems to have no resistances to lightning whatsoever, and the bolt sort of... So it's... Is that halved? 13 is the half. Okay, yeah. He... your accuracy is a little off, but it still cascades across him. He roars in anger, in pain. Is there anything else?
Can't do anything. No. No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no.
Oh, yep.
Sorry, I will. I'll use my other divine channel divinity, and again I'll fulminate and strike.
Okay. Fantastic. Your mace powers with lightning. Well done. All right. That will bring us once more. He is going to once again sort of roar out, and he's going to bolster himself again. He is going to take 10 temporary hit points and advantage on his next d20 test. I like the term d20 test. It's so much easier than saying attack roll ability check and saving throw. So as he does so, first things first, we're going to deal with the Storm of Vengeance. So as this is happening, basically acid rain starts to fall, starts to pour down. The wind wall is going to protect. I gotta check on the wind wall and see just how effective it is in this moment. That Killinestra put forth because it might help. Okay, yeah, it's not going to help against the rain, unfortunately. So as it does this, everybody is going to take 4 points of acid damage. And I mean everybody, including our good friend in the air. If anyone's concentrating on a spell, they must roll a saving throw against losing it. Tidewalker maintains her wind wall. Still deaf, but, you know. Acid rain burns your skin for but a moment. I wish these weren't all concentrations. It'd be so much fun to cast all of them. Let's see. Okay. We could still have fun. Okay, that's not a concentration. That one's a concentration. Okay. He's going to, his arm that has been iced, that he smashed Hassan with, all of this acid rain and wind is swirling around this torrent of weather. He's going to swing his hand over his head, and he's going to, he slings his hand down, sort of making articulations with his fingers, and shards of ice are going to fly off of his arm as he casts Ice Storm.
Counterspell.
As he goes to do so, the gauntlet of ice that was beginning to separate, your magic sort of clasps onto and forces the gauntlet to remain on his arm, and the spell and action is wasted. Well done.
Well done.
No.
Absolutely fucking not. And that's going to be his turn. He's not a real big bonus action-y kind of fellow. Okay, that will bring us to your turn there, Etherith.
Okay, let's get this. Oh wait, he bolstered himself, didn't he? So he's got another advantage going on. How do I CC this man?
You can always hold a spell until it's wasted.
It's true. But then I'd lose my reaction for
It's true.
bobs or counter spells.
It's true.
Let me think. Okay, well, in that case, if I can't control him, I'll just have to damage him instead. So I will upcast Ray of Sickness.
All right.
And since I'm in a sorcery advantage, so let's do this.
No.
That's gonna miss.
I'm
That's
very
17
sorry.
to hit.
17 will miss, I'm very sorry to say. You shoot, you fire, and your magic kind of almost seems to like bounce off of his form, as it's not quite a direct hit that you needed.
Well, for my bonus action, I will spend some sorcery points to get a 5th level spell slot back.
Fair enough. All right. That's going to bring us to Tidewalker. Because Windwall isn't working quite as much as she might have hoped it might. It's fine. Let's see. She is going to this time sort of step forward for a little bit. She's going to pull back her trident. All this like water freezes around it. This eldritch energy freezes around it. She sort of like flows power into it. She's going to throw it forward through the air, and she is going to make an attack against the big guy. She's got to roll well. I said she had to roll well, and she rolled in that one. She throws it, and the creature just doesn't even look. He just kind of twists his hand like this, and the trident just sort of flies through the air, and Tidewalker curses very loudly. And that would be her turn. That's going to bring us to Kalanestra, who ain't fucking around. She's going to now apply the hex. She's going to go to the original plan as her mother intended, and she is going to put 3 fingers into the air, and from the tips of each finger she's going to fire purplish ghastly bolts of eldritch energy that spear across the battlefield almost faster than the eye can see. She's going to make 3 eldritch blast attacks. I curse you as your father cursed you before me. First bolt misses. Fuck me. Second bolt misses. And third bolt misses. Fuck. Ow. Those were 3 terrible rolls. These bolts just sort of bounce off. And she curses very loudly. Also, they can't hear each other, so it's a little unoriginal. All right. That is going to bring us to Basan. What would you like to do, Basan?
He's still 20 feet up.
He sure is. He's just floating there, looking good.
All right, let me. Check something out real quick here. All right. I mean, in theory, this should work. All right, we're just gonna throw a fireball at him.
All right. He's gonna roll a dex save. He will have advantage from the bolster for this. That's only gonna be a 16.
Meets it, beats it.
Beats it. All right, roll me some damage. He'll take half.
Do. 34, what is that, 17?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well done. 17 damage. As that, he gets his arm in the way just in time, but it blasts him pretty fucking good. Well done. Is there anything else?
I mean, no, I think that's probably good.
Okay. That is going to be a legendary action. He is once more going to bolster himself. He is going to go roar, and he is going to gain some hit points. temporary hit points, and he will have advantage on his next d20 test. That is going to bring us to your turn, Arenda. What do you do?
So I'm going to bonus action Misty Step upon Tomb, so that I'm on his head or shoulder.
He is very tall. He is about 25 feet tall. He's 20 feet off the ground. I will tell you what, though. You could, like, grip onto his, like, let's see, 6 feet off the ground, another 10 feet. You could, like, grip onto, like, his thigh or his shin or something of the like if you want. Like, it's somewhere on his leg.
Well, yeah, if I can get onto his foot or something so I can hit him.
Cool. I'll tell you what. We'll say that, like, the chains are, like, dangling. If you want to, like, grab the chain and, like Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, floating, you know, we could do something cool like that. Okay, tell you what. Roll me an athletics or acrobatics check as part of this.
So 17 for acrobatics.
Excellent. You travel through the storm itself. You grab onto one of the chains. You sort of fly through the air, and as you reach the sort of pendulum swing, you come flying in. Go ahead and make me an attack. Go for it.
And I was using my Elven Lineage Misty Step for that one, which is a 3D one.
Cool.
So I'm going to attack first with a short sword.
All right.
13.
13. 13 will not hit. Sorry.
And then I'll try with my mace. Ooh, 23.
23 most certainly hits. And as a reminder, your fulminating strike, you get range with it, right? It becomes basically a ranged weapon. Yeah. So you're like on the end of the pendulum swing, and you like go to swing, you miss, and on the upper height of the pendulum swing, you like throw the sword as like a bolt of lightning, and it crashes into your enemy. Roll some damage.
So from the mace, it was 4 bludgeoning, 7.
Well, you were using your short sword, weren't you?
I used my short sword first, and then I used the mace second.
Well, I don't think you can interchange them on your action.
Right. Okay. Do you want me to roll again on the sword?
If they're the same damage, are they the same damage type?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Okay. So what's the damage?
So it's 4 bludgeoning and 7 radiant from the sword.
So that will be piercing, and you'll get the vex.
Is an extra d8, which is lightning. That's 5.
I'll take the full 5 lightning. All right, well done. You're chipping away at him. Very good. You've got the vex, so next attack that you make is advantage. Well done. You're still holding on to that chain there, dangling there. As you're dangling, you struck him. He kind of turns around and sees. He kind of is going to go for like a swing at you. He's going to try and smite you while you're holding on. That's going to be with this like, oh fuck, that's going to be a natural 20.
Look, silvery bobs.
Hey, silvery barbs, right on, my man.
Well done.
Much more of a healthier, for your sake, attack roll. That will be a 24 though.
Yeah.
But like you saw him on the pendulum swing, and he's like swinging into the punch, and you're like, oh, that's not good for a red and you're like, hey, dick face. He's like, and he kind of doesn't perfectly hit, but he still hits. So, Rendell, as you're smashed, just fucking pulverized by this punch, do you want to take extra lightning damage, or would you rather be stunned?
I'll take the damage because I'm not falling.
All right, you're like, I'm not letting go of this fucking thing. So you're going to take 21 lightning damage straight up.
Yeah.
That bypasses all resistances and immunities.
Yeah.
And the actual bludgeoning damage, well, technically force damage. is going to be... I'll get out my sixes here. That's going to be 35 force damage. So that should be 56 damage total, if I'm not mistaken. So he smashes into you, and you're still alive, still hanging on. As you swing back, he kind of and he kind of calls up to the air. You see now the churning cloud of thunder and lightning, the storm of vengeance up above, seems to have like essentially charged up enough. And in this moment, it releases the true power of its storm, and 6 bolts of lightning shoot down around the field of battle around him. I need each of you to make me a dexterity saving throw as the culminating power of the storm rains down upon you.
I'm so fucked.
I'm going to use my inspiration. That was 4.
Isan got a 27. I'm sorry.
Dirty 20.
Oh my
Save.
god.
Save. What'd you get, Rendell?
An at 1 on an inspiration roll, which is great.
Who did you give advantage to on the silver barbs?
Me?
Oh, that would have been
I
Randall,
used
yeah.
that. Oh, yeah.
Okay. You roll again if you didn't do so.
Oh, 18.
18. Tidewalker fails. Calustra succeeds. Sorry, what did you get there, Rendell?
18.
18. That is a failure. So Arendelle and Tidewalker are going to take 41 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
All right, you fall off, and as you plummet 20 feet, you're going to hit the ground hard. That's going to be a death failure for you as well.
Yeah.
Tidewalker took 41 damage. I need to check on that. The rest of you would have taken 20 lightning damage. Tidewalker is still kicking, which is good. Calustra took 20. The wind wall is gone. Unsurprisingly at this point. Calustra retains her hex. Okay, that is going to bring us to his turn. That was just his concentration. So as a reminder, 20 points to everybody except for Arendelle and Calustra, who took 41 points of damage. And Arendelle hits the ground hard in the wake of this. What's left of the Storm of Vengeance? Yeah, okay, we're gonna keep that going. Once more, the Titan is going to like look down at you after the kind of he's going to reach his hand back, and he's going to sort of do a familiar articulation with the hand. Throw his fist in your direction, and you're going to see all the ice parting off as he casts Ice Storm. And as you don't counterspell...
I mean, I can't. I've already used silver barbs.
Right. It is going to be a 20-foot radius sphere. Sorry, I haven't. Oh, what are we making here? Shit. There we go. Beautiful. This is going to be for everybody. He does aim it as such, and it will succeed in hitting everybody. I need a dex save from everybody. It's just going to be a death failure for you, Arendelle.
19?
19 is a failure, I'm sorry to say. Kalinestra succeeds. Tidewalker once more fails.
You said a dex save?
Dex save.
28.
Success. Damn, doing some matrix moves over there. That's gonna be... Give me that 2d8 as well. Okay, here we go. So that is going to be 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm down.
Okay, yeah, you're down. So Basan, you succeeded, so that's only going to be 7 bludgeoning damage. And 9 cold damage reduced to 4 cold damage for you, Basan. 7 and 4 for Kalinestra for a total of 11 to Kalinestra once more, and the full total of 23 Tidewalker is down as well. Okay, that is his turn. Need a death save, Ethrith. Understood. All right. Gonna roll one for Tidewalker over here. All right. Kalinestra is going to once more try a more deadly attack here. She can roll some good rolls here. We're going to do the Eldritch Blast and see if we can knock him down, okay? First one hits. Second one misses. And third one hits. So that's going to be 2 out of 3 hits. She's got Hex going, which has remained throughout this whole thing, which is great. So that's going to be 2d10 plus 8. So I'll get that out of the way. That's gonna be 15 damage total. Now the Hex is going to be an additional 2d6. It's going to be 7 points of damage. That kind of really stung our bad guy here. He's wavering up there. He's not bloody, but he's wavering. And she is going to go to Etherith. She's going to kind of like look at you, Basan, as if to be like, you're up. And he's going to go over to Etherith's side and kind of speak to your unconscious body and says, "Don't you die on me, you selfish bastard." And that will bring us to your turn, Basan. He's kind of up there, kind of like reeling from the eldritch blow, and like you see a glint in his eye of like, oh, like I'm kind of beat up. What do you do, Basan?
All right. I'm going to bonus action Second Wind because
Ouch.
there's been a lot of ouch going on without a lot of reversing of but that was nice. Reversing of the ouch because fuck. And I think under the circumstances, all I can do is my fireball again.
Okay, go for it.
So he will have a Dexy save.
Natural 20.
That should do it. And he'll take 10 points of damage.
10
Look at all
points of
those
damage.
ones. Yeah, because it was 20, but I assume that's half. So
That's a pain in the ass. So as this ball of fire goes on, he kind of is reeling, and he kind of, and in this moment he looks a little odd. He kind of like blinks a couple times, and he brings his non-icy hand like up in the swirling of all this mess to his face, kind of wipes under his nose, and you see like a distinct like red on his hand. Kind of, and in this moment, the massive storm around him kind of ceases, just stops. You gotta, and he falls out of the air, and like lands over Arendil's body, and and he like looks up in the clouds with a look of like, oh no, on his face, and I'll say like all of you see just like through the faint of consciousness. You see, as you look up into the sky, you see like the thunder and lightning crackle in the clouds. There's this, you see sort of like the image of this like mighty bearded, the silhouette of this mighty bearded individual in the clouds, and he kind of reaches his hand up in the air and kind of, and then it crashes again. It crashes again. And we see a different image this time, where strangely it's not like a white light of like a shock of lightning. It's more red, like fire, and you see the image of this like mighty but dilapidated like man bringing a hammer down onto like an anvil. And as it crashes, and there's another crash of thunder, and this like smith-like figure crashes his hammer into the anvil, you see all the chains that have been broken, that he broke free from, they sort of shoot towards the walls around the other ends of their broken chains and just fuse together in that moment, instantly repaired, and his body just kind of I accidentally punched my water bottle. But he, like, his body just kind of, his arms just kind of shoot towards the walls, and he is once like immediately restrained once more and forced to his knees. And you feel his influence over storm and lightning has ceased, and the Cyclops sort of ceases his battle as blood drips from the end of his nose, and his head is bowed in shame as he once more has failed his master, the god of storms. And the room settles, and the Cyclops is no longer your threat. There is just enough of pulse of divine magic where all of my 1 hit point friends, or my 0 hit point friends, are now at 1 hit point, as the god of storms has taken mercy, as you have proven yourself most worthy of his gifts. And that is where we will take our break. That's time. Well done! You have proven yourself worthy in the eyes of Zeus.
very little in this world has a resistance to radiant energy. But goddamn, is that annoying?
Yes. Yes.
Your sword, worthless.
Sorry, cool laser sword. I'm a god.
No, that was totally valid.
Radiant, but then, because of the change that I made, my charisma is only 11. So my saves are only like 12. Is a DC 12.
Yeah.
So things like
don't worry, there might be a little reward coming up. We'll see. All right, we'll be back in a minute.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bye.
Okay. Okay. Well, why don't we get back to it? I want to start with you, Rivendell. So as you feel just the wisp of life flood back into you, and you take that breath, you have fought valorously and courageously in this moment. And the last thing you see, above you is the now bowed over Cyclops, bowed in shame. But past him, you see the walls of this open roofed sphere, and above that you see this storm of astral cloud, and the final sort of shatterings. And the last two sort of cracks of lightning and thunder are like two eyes that kind of see you. And you look into the eye of the great god himself for some manifestation of him. And it fills you up with his presence. The thunder here is more than just elemental, it is presence. And that is what will be required of you in the days to come. And you have received specifically the blessing of leadership from Zeus. You will gain a +2 bonus to your charisma score. You all begin to rise. Etherith, your eyes open to the look of, the usual, like, oh, whatever, ha ha ha, blah, 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 Calanestra, I don't care about anything, I'm the coolest. A look of genuine worry for your life. Look of, like, genuine, like, fear and shock and worry, and as you open your eyes, you see genuine relief wash over her.
Well, so far it's not looking great for my life expectancy as captain.
She kind of like initially kind of like there's like the like you're okay, and she kind of narrows her eyes at you and kind of like starts slapping you a little bit.
I'm very fragile.
Yes, apparently you are.
When did you start to worry so much about me?
Well, someone has to. And she will help you up, help you rise to your feet. And as she does so, she hugs you. And she'll kind of like say quietly to you, as you say, you didn't think all of those drugs and dancing was just for show, did you?
I came out of that feeling like doesn't matter.
Well, thank Hecate that you're all right. We did a curse-breaking rite, and, well, you're not dead. She kind of dusts you off. Seems to have taken.
So is that it? Are we now worthy?
She kind of turns and looks at the Cyclops who does not look at you now. His head is very much bowed towards the ground. As is again just like little quote unquote, like each drop of blood's probably like a fucking liter. But drops of blood sort of fall from his nose to the ground beneath him as you've drawn the blood of a celestial, no small feat. And he is securely bound in chains and makes no move to communicate or to release himself.
I'll take the silence as a yes. Let's just take these siege engines. I'll if I put my finger to my head and I communicate to Arian. Send out as many crew members as you can. We have some useful weapons to transport back to the ship.
About midway through your communication, you do hear these sort of Jurassic-esque ripping of the draconic screech that is the red dragon. As this red dragon comes careening over the edge finally, with Saeed on the back of a silver sword, like, ah! And they kind of, boom, land the dragon, kind of, they both kind of look around. Saeed's like,
It took you forever. You need to run faster.
we were fast, it was your stupid owl that took too long.
My owl is kind of slow. Maybe I should find something.
It took time to understand what it was even saying. It is a bird.
And Misan just like,
kind of, and the red dragon sort of white hot fire sort of shoots out of its nose. It snorts, annoyed that it missed the battle. Scorches the stone underneath it.
sorry.
Dragon kind of. But now, if you wish, you may. Yeah, you guys kind of like Tidewalker, super injured, kind of around the Cyclops with her trident pointed at him. He makes no move whatsoever. She kind of gets to the other side. Seemingly, it's safe to do so. He does not free himself or try to stop you at this point. You've proven yourself worthy, and he has proven himself wanting yet again to Zeus. And as you approach, you are going to see two siege engines. There's more stuff around here. Like, this is an ornate chamber, and there are different places with stuff. But what is most important here is the siege engines. You see two. Large object. This one is. Yeah, it's a cannon. Straight up, it's a fucking cannon. You see this like bronze inlaid cannon that is covered in divine runes. You can't read the divine runes. None of you speak Celestial, I don't believe. But they look kind of. There's an essence of violence to them, and it is set on this heavy tripod device, and it does not look like it was meant to take cannonballs. It looks like it just has. It's a cannon, but it has like a very like thin opening, and it's just sort of set there. It might take a moment to figure out exactly how it works, but it looks pretty neat. Ancient, ornate, magical, some kind of cannon. And above that, you're going to see this, again, it's this large it's an engine of some kind, of some ancient engine that's meant to be like set into probably your ship at some place. And in the center, there is this crystal ball with a large crystal ball. It's probably like a good 5-foot diameter crystal ball, the epicenter of it. That just kind of floats in the center, and inside of it, there is like a black storm cloud that sort of rumbles. And yeah, that's what you see. These are the two things that lay before you, the most prominent ones, and certainly look most siege engine-y to you.
Is the hole in the ceiling big enough for the ship to fly in?
Not to fly in, but like if you wanted to, say, have this dragon carry them up and out, it would be very easy to do so. Your ship is big. Yeah. But you could certainly crane things out through it if you wanted to, rather than having to walk it all the way up the steps.
I'm sure we could sort something out. Yeah, if the dragon can take them out with a ship above, that would most probably be easier.
Splendid. Okay. The dragon will do so at the command of Saeed. Well, the two of them will do it. The dragon will just like grab this like strange storm engine thing with like his talons and kind of begin to beat his wings. Saeed will use telekinesis, and the bronze cam will kind of float up and after them as they kind of ascend up and out and return to the ship with these siege engines. And easy enough, your ship will have gained its the rewards you came here for.
Well, we've got what we came for. We should depart. I'd hate for our worthiness to fall into question by lingering.
I think we did enough. Otherwise, Zeus wouldn't have stepped in whatever way he did. But we were very close to not being worthy there. I think we may need to find some other means of proving our worth if situations like this arise again.
Well, I'll be eager to hear any suggestions next time such a situation arises.
Don't get me wrong, I was quite happy for the fight. But, yeah, it took a lot of us. It took a lot of us down. So I think we may need to be a little bit smarter.
Again, I'm not all-knowing.
That's
So
fine, Captain.
it's easy to criticize, but
It's not a criticism. Trust me.
well, let's be off.
Cloudster goes, a captain that isn't all-knowing. What's the point?
Well, you didn't pipe up either, sister. If you had any suggestions for proving our worthiness.
I am a follower of Hecate. I don't really go in for all this. I'm more of a sort of steal your hair in the night and curse you for all time kind of lady. Just kind of
That sounds like more fun.
All I saw was an obstacle in the path, and it needed to be removed.
Okay. I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes, I'm going to use prayer of healing on the fivers that were down there. So you can have benefits of a short rest.
Got it. So here's what I'll say is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say benefits of a short rest and also 2d8 worth of, which is not great, it's only 10. So.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, I'll say, because nothing in there requires that you stand still during the casting. So I will say by the time you return to the ship, your spell will have gone off. So you may all go ahead and gain the benefits.
I'd like to gather our artillerists and otherwise mechanically inclined crew members.
Fantastic. Yeah, you get back to the ship, and partially using my phone here today. Let's see. Get all your crew members out here. Okay, Boomstick is gonna come over. It's like, guys, this is awesome! Holy shit! How did you know? This is great. Okay. Let me run you through everything. All right, I already had it all set up. I took some liberty because I assume we came all the way out here to use these things. Anyway, come here. He's gonna take you over to the bronze cannon. You know, there's a flurry of work and movement inside the ship. People are like setting up these things, finding places to set up things, working away. He goes, okay, cannon. Okay, very cool. So this, I mean, it doesn't have a name, so I'm calling it the lightning cannon. Because that's what it does. It only really needs one person to use, which is crazy. You just stand there and it's on a tripod. Who would have thought? Like a swivel? I'm gonna call it a swivel. But you just take it and you know, just that's it. That's the whole aiming mechanism. That's crazy. And you shoot it, and I haven't tested it at all, but it shoots bolts of lightning. Oh no, never mind. It requires aim. It does require It does require two people to work. Like someone's gotta, you know, properly help align it, and then only one person shoots it, but there's no reload. It just fires bolts of lightning at people.
Sorry, which one was that? The crystal ball or the bronze cannon?
Oh, this is the cannon. This is the lightning cannon. It gives me so many ideas. I mean, you've got that keg launcher. You could like launch gunpowder and then shoot lightning at it, and then it goes, explodes and kills people.
Like the whole time he's saying that, Bisan is just like, oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. But anyway, really cool. And he just kind of keeps dealing with that. He goes, okay, yeah. You go talk to Copper Guy. He's looking at, he's busy with his project in the hold. But go talk to Pyra. She's really been looking at that other thing that you brought out. And if you go find Pyra, she will see you guys approach. She goes, yes, but Pi, these are incredible. I mean, you know, Boomstick seems very excited about his cannon, but I was very interested in this. And I mean, it's pretty easy to work out. It's going to take a little bit to integrate it to the ship's systems, but if we power it through the Spelljammer, it should literally give us the power to control the weather. I guess the only correct title for it would be like the storm engine. I mean, or weather engine sounds a little lame. So storm engine, you know? So anyway, it's a storm engine. You just put your hands on the crystal balls, and through it you can manipulate the weather in a pretty broad area too.
Would this thing only be effective on a planet, or does it have applications out in wild space of the astral sea?
Oh, it has applications in the astral sea as well. There's weather out here as well, as I'm sure you all know. The astral winds. Like it's the applications are.
Hello?
Anyway,
Right.
yeah, like I said, it's going to take some power from the Spelljammer, but all systems should run functional. I did talk with Coppergut because I know they're working on something that would also need power from the Spelljammer, and both should be able to work in tandem whenever he completes his work.
Very well. Well, once everything is properly installed, we'll have to delegate who's manning the cannon. Any volunteers?
Outside the window, you see Coppergut going, or sorry, Boomstick going, a little up and down.
Okay. Coppercut's on the cannon, but they'll need someone, one other to man it.
Yeah, you guys are accumulating quite a series of weapons on the ship.
Boomstick on the cannon, and someone else to help him.
Just see him outside like that.
Boomstick on the cannon. Sorry, I got them mixed up as well.
Well, the good news is that, like, I mean, nobody really needs to. It takes time for the weather to come to pass. So in a combat situation, it's not going to be much use, but unless it's been pre-used. So you're not going to need anyone to man it in combat, which is the good news.
It's right, get us in there. Little cloud floating around the town. Get us in there quietly.
Okay.
Well, you got Tidewalker, Pyra, and Coppergut are your skilled artillerists. Oh, yeah. Well, Tidewalker, Boomstick, Lux, and Coppergut are your 4 skilled artillerists, and Basan, of course, herself is. So you've got 5 skilled artillerists who can use them a little better than other people.
As long as we've got one on each of the flamethrowers and that, we can deal with that.
And you guys had 2 arcane lenses. You bought 2 arcane lenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a ballista that needs 3. You've got the keg thrower that needs 5. You've got the mangonel, which needs 5. You've got the flamethrower that needs 2. The cannon that needs 2. So you've got a proper artillerist for each weapon, and any casters you have can be put on the arcane lenses, because those will require anyone but a caster. Let's see, as for basic crew members, technically Spice Hand could, like, man 1, and then you've got 6 crew additionally. I'm just going to go double check the keg thrower, see how many people needed to man the keg thrower. Keg launcher, but whatever. Oh no, my apologies. Keg launcher is only 3. Requires a load and an aim. Yeah, it requires only 3. My apologies. So you're going to need...
It's 15, isn't it? 15 in total.
So you could use all of the poxy units for the mangonel. So that takes care of the mangonel. And then that has 2 spare crew members, maybe 3 if you want to get Spice Hand in on combat.
The flamethrower I know has a shorter range, so like I'm not necessarily too worried about like manning that like at all times.
Then your ballista can be manned, and your lightning launcher can be manned. You would need 2 additional individuals to man the keg thrower. But if someone's not on the flamethrower, then it's more like 1. You just need 1 other person to man that. And then there's also nobody to be on the actual arcane lenses. So, I mean, hey man, time to hire some more folks, I guess. You were saying you needed a healer anyway, and you could use some blasters to use those arcane lenses with. Hire some mages.
Yeah, we need to go back to Thessalys anyway.
As far as placing the the storm engine, I suppose. Be okay to place that with me in the bridge.
Lux says, I was thinking of putting it on the third level. There's pretty quick access between the bridge and there. We don't really want it to get in the way of being able to move around the bridge, so maybe up on the third level with the mirror, you can just climb up the ladder, utilize it, or have someone climb up the ladder and utilize it.
I mean, how large is it?
It's large. It's
Okay.
a large-sized object.
Yeah, okay. In that case, then, yeah, do that.
Very well. We could put the shield generator up there, too, if you wanted. We got the space.
That would be perfect.
All right. I'll tell Coppergut to complete assembly up there when it's done. Sweet. So we'll just mark down that we need to hire at least 2 new crew members and 2 new people to utilize the arcane lenses. I'll make sure Arian is aware.
Is there another device that we know of that could help power that? Because obviously that's quite a lot of power going through the Spelljammer. Does that matter? In effect, just as a question.
Yeah. It says, like I've said, well, I actually spoke with Arian and Mistmind about it because they're both Spelljammers. And they said that, like, Spelljammers have a lot of backup reserve energy just by nature, which is why bosuns are able to sort of overpower them because they tap into that extra energy channel. So basically, they've said that everything should run operationally. It shouldn't damage. They said that, in fact, if you could find one more sort of engine-based system, the Spelljammer could handle it, but no more than that. Should be able to have 3. It's very they said it was very comparable to attunement.
Understand. Thank you.
Well, we'll keep our eyes out for a 3rd upgrade to the ship. But in the meantime, and with that, we'll say that, like, the ship kind of the Spelljammer powers up now. You see, like, literally, like, through the floor, there's almost like veins of energy, not like literal veins that you could trip over, but almost like just set 2-dimensionally into the floor. You can kind of see, like, the movement of magical energy moving from the Spelljammer to the upper level where you have positioned the storm generator. And all systems seem to be functional. Arian kind of gives you the salute. He says all seems to be working well.
Okay, well, we're back to navigating through asteroids again. But perhaps our new cannon might be of help here.
We'll say Mistmind says, what about the weather thing? The weather, the storm generator. Maybe we could try and, I don't know, maybe it could help somehow. Just so you guys know, just like the honest to goodness, like what it does mechanically, it allows you to cast control weather through it. The spell can control weather through it. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Maybe I should look that up so I have like a better idea of what I can and can't ask for.
Seems it's your ship, Captain. Why don't you have the honors? Let's see what we can do.
So, in a 5-mile radius for a duration of 8 hours, no concentration required through this particular item. You don't need to be outdoors. Certainly ends indoors. It certainly ends early if your ship ends up in an indoor space, but that probably won't happen.
Yeah.
So you can change the conditions, precipitation, temperature, and winds. It takes 1d4 times 10 minutes for the new condition to take effect.
I'm looking at my options here. Here's my gripe is I don't know how, like, I'm not super confident in science, but I swear, like, if you, like, super cool something, it loses magnetism. But I might be crazy, or I might have misheard that.
Well,
'Cause
there. I guess there is the point about like how kinetic energy is related to temperature. I don't know. That's like
Yeah.
that's a bit of a fault. That's a bit of a
Yeah.
jump. But there is a point like, hey man, I'll tell you what. Roll me like a science check. Let's call it a nature check to see how you might be able to utilize the weather to influence. What's going on out there?
Okay. I was wrong. It was the reverse. Would you say it's an intelligence check? Did you say
Or
Okay.
nature.
Nature? Okay, nature. That is 19.
Nice.
19, excellent. So there are two things you can do here to influence the ease in which Arya might make his escape. Okay, let's see. Let's see. You, I don't know how you know this, but you do.
Hey.
Yes, the flow of electricity, its speed anyway, can be affected with travel, which means those like lightning storms out there can be affected by temperature. There is an increase of resistance to magnetism, the path of electricity through metal when you increase temperature. So the hotter it gets, the harder it is for lightning to flow. So technically, if you surprisingly, if you did the opposite, if you made it hotter, it would make the lightning storm worse. The second point is that if you were to reduce the astral winds around you, it would maybe slow the sort of kinetic bounce or the activity of the asteroids.
Okay. Well, let's reduce the winds, and then if any asteroids get too close, we'll have our new lightning cannon blast it the fuck away.
Boomstick just gives you one of those.
Ready, Aryan? We did it once before, we can do it again.
Aye, aye. If we have to gun it, I mean, we're not going deeper, we're going out, so it should hopefully be easier.
I'll use the control weather to make the winds calm, I guess.
All right.
I'll position myself on one of the arcane lenses just in case I can maybe use a spell or something to go through as a reaction if something needs to be done.
So did you want to be, because like last time you came in clutch by like sort of being a first mate by like commanding the crew. Did you want to be on the artillery team or did you want to retain that original position?
Well, yeah, no, I suppose if the captain's at the top, I suppose I'll just command the crew just in case then.
So let's go ahead and see if we can't make our way out. This is going to be easier, to be sure. Exiting will be much easier than entering. So if we're still going to consider this a hazard at sea, but the DC will be lower this time around thanks to the storm generator and because you're exiting, not entering. So DC set at 15. Let's do this. Okay, so I'll start with Aryan and his steering. So why not? Oh, poor Aryan. I'm gonna give him a little bonus because okay, that's better. He's got a little help in the cockpit there because there's two of them anyway. Well, I'll tell you what, actually, Ethereth, I want you to go first to see if you help out Arendelle or Aryan or not. So I want you to do the same as before because you are our navigator. I want you to make me a a survival check. As before, a survival check to see if you can help navigate out.
18.
Excellent. As I said, it is easier than before. There is plenty of close calls, but you are able to navigate well. And Arian does so as well, so that's going to be considered 2 successes, which is excellent. I'm going to roll crew quality here. The crew may be like feeling the sting of some of Arendo's words and recognizing they need to step up. They are much more on it this time around. They're following your commands precisely, Basan. The boasts are all over protecting the ship when it takes damage. That's going to be considered a success for the crew as a general role. Their quality is good, which will bring us to let's see here. Okay, Basan, my shooty friend. I believe I had you roll me, because this is more about tactics than anything. This is about sort of knowing when to shoot and when not to shoot. So I will say insight or investigation, your choice.
Investigation, please. I wanted to check my thingy majigger and then what is that? Hold on, sorry. First of all, I may at least roll the dice. That was not bad. So that is 15, but I think I can tactical mind to add to it. Oh, it doesn't even take an action. So yeah, I would like to use my tactical mind and expend a second wind to boost that 15, if I may.
Sure.
So 18.
This is a success. Like I said, it is certainly easier this time around thanks to the storm generator. You largely, Basan, are keeping your artillerists chill. That's largely what you're doing. There's even a couple of times where like people really wanted to fire, but it's like you're like, we got to accept the hit. If we hit that one, it's gonna bounce, and we're gonna be in trouble. So we're just gonna take the hit. And there's a couple of times where it does bounce off the hull, but there are times where you like do see things coming. You're like, okay, yeah, that one for sure. And boomstick makes a shot. The lightning sort of just blasts the rock to smithereens, and the resulting debris is small enough that it doesn't damage the ship or create too much fuss with the other asteroids. And you make through well. It's another success. You're on your way to perhaps a total victory. Last check required is going to be from you, Arendelle, to keep everybody chill, to keep them cool. So I want you to make me an intimidation check. Keep everybody in line.
Oh, yes, 24.
24. You know, some people are like getting a little frantic, and you're like, hey, chill out, calm down. And then other people are like, yeah, go get to work, and like, you know, really just being precise, being like a proper leader in this moment, being like firm with everybody, and ensuring everyone's doing their job, not losing their heads. And thanks to just like the overall quality, you guys get out of there unscathed, and more still, better than last time. The crew lets out like a boisterous celebration as you exit the asteroid field, and the crew quality is going to actually go up as this is considered a total victory. You're going to gain a +1 to your crew quality score, which means that all future crew checks for hazards are going to have a +1 bonus behind them.
Nice.
Very nice.
With that, you have exited the asteroid field, and Arian sort of wipes the sweat from his brow, and everybody lets out like a boisterous applause, and wild space is yours to do with what you will.
Well, set a course for Thessalys.
Hey, and they will do just that.
While this is going on, if there's like nothing Bisan is actively needed with, she's going to sit down with a book and try to recall as many of the stories as were conveyed, because you said that that Callistra had said like they were unknown stories that people hadn't heard of, and so she's going to try to record as much of that as possible.
Absolutely. Why don't you make me just like a general intelligence check to see, not a high DC because it's pretty fresh, maybe an intelligence check to see how many you recall and get wrote down.
14.
14. Yeah, you get a fair number wrote down. You didn't understand like all of the nuances of everything, so you write very directly what you saw. It's like a man attacks a blood with this imagery, and yeah, you write down quite a few. There are some that you just don't remember. I mean, you got the shit kicked out of you by a cyclops. You're like, oh, you know, your brain got jiggled around in your skull a little bit, so you're like, okay, what was this? And yeah, you're able to take down quite a few stories. Fantastic. You're going to have 3 days of travel through wild spaces. You make your way back to Thessalys. I believe that's what we decided it was going to be. Let's see if the dice like you again. And what's more, the dice decide that like everything's perfect in great space. Nothing bad ever happened to anybody out in wild space. Nothing good, nothing bad. It's another 3 days of just the dice deciding nothing cruel happens. And I am but a servant of the dice, so that's what's going to happen. You guys just travel through. Things are good. Things are fine. You work through it, and eventually you come back upon the big, beautiful, lush green planet and land in the spaceport. Let's see here.
Yeah, Kate, like a long rest.
Like a long rest, most certainly. Multiple times if you want it. Sorry, I'm trying to get a little bit of a sound going on here. Cool. There's my soundscape.
Can you turn it down a smidge just because I cannot hear anything now?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sorry, I feel like there's a disconnect between what I'm hearing and what you guys are hearing for some reason as the DM. I don't get it. But yeah, just let me know if it's ever too bad. Cool. Yeah, you land back down. And all is well. Your ship crew sort of celebrates. Arian says, well, we did it. Super cool weapons retrieved. What are your orders, Captain? What do we do now?
Well, we have another mission off-world, so that's our next target. And let's make sure we're well supplied for the trip.
Well, it's been about 6 days, Captain, so we're still plenty stocked, but I'm more than happy to make up for what we lost.
Please do.
All right. And so he will. 7, 9, and we're all back on one standard day. Okay, fantastic. So he's going to go restock you guys. He'll just take money out of the crew supply, make our lives easy. And yeah, you got some Thessalys. Orion will say, also, Captain, I'm more than happy to go out and hire 2 new crew members to man the arms, but I will perhaps leave it in your hands, the hiring of people to use the arcane lenses, because that sounds a little more specialized. So whatever you want me to do, but I'll go get some food and I'll get some basic sailors aboard, if that works for you.
That will help. Arenda, I'd like your aid with finding someone suitable for, well, we could use someone who is able to heal our wounds.
That's fine. I'll start with the temples if that's okay with you. We'll see who we've got around there.
Certain. Just making adjustments. You've only got two living. Yeah. Two. So that's 4 silver. We're going to hire 2 more crew members. That'll bring it to 6 silver pieces. You now have 8 crew members aboard your ship. Oh, I got one. Before you leave, I'll say Spice Hand says, Captain, if I might have a quick word. The crew quarters are getting very, very congested. You know, we got a lot of crew members aboard now, and we're going to pick up even more. May I make a suggestion that this... I know Miss Tidewalker uses the stateroom, but might I suggest it being transferred to additional crew quarters? We could certainly, you know, make sleeping a lot less packed, if at all possible. We could sell the furniture from the stateroom for more bunks. It wouldn't cost anything.
That's what it takes to, well, house the crew, then do so. I'm sure Tidewalker will manage.
All right, Captain. I will get right to it. And Spice Hand will facilitate the transferring of the stateroom. Okay, cool. So you're going to head out to go look for some people to, change it up. So you're starting with the temples. Which Greek god says, which Greek god are we going to go to the Temple of and see if we can find someone to crew your ship with?
I mean, I would just drag Jacqueline here, kicking and screaming.
Oh, but we're going to do that anyway at some point, aren't we? So
Yeah.
how much he's going to be of use.
With Chaplin's mind not great, I worry that he will lack the acumen to make the decisions necessary to do his job well.
Well, running through my my personal list of gods. Well,
I'll tell you what. If you're curious,
is it Asclepius? Do you pronounce it as?
Asclepius
Asclepius.
He is considered a minor god of medicine. He is around. I don't think he would have his own temple in this here, but he certainly would have an altar. I'll make you a deal. If any of you guys want to make religion or arcana check to think of who would be the best, what kind of person would be a great choice for what you need on your ship.
19.
19. Which
religion?
Religion. Okay, so there are a couple of choices. The first and most obvious for a healer, when people think of healer, they think of the temples, so they think of clerics. A cleric would be great, but you have another system that needs manning by this cleric, which would be the arcane lens. So you need someone who can heal and someone who can blast the shit out of somebody. And as you think religiously about different clerics, the one that pops in your brain most intensely would be a god of light, a god of the sun, or the god of fire, or the god of something that banishes the darkness. And I'm going to tell you which Greek gods hold those domains. Apollo is very easily one of those. Surprisingly, I believe Aphrodite actually holds domain of light as well, banishing the darkness through love and all of that. I'm just going to that multiverse. Okay. I know the PHB lists these things here. Moment. Let's pull it up. The other thing I'll give you, Athrith, while I'm pulling this up, a little bit more alternatively, which I think would be up in your wheelhouse, Mr. Great hero of the cult of Hecate. There are warlocks that have made pacts with celestial beings. They are indeed capable of not only healing, but using deadly eldritch power effectively. So they are very good blasters, but also healers at the same time. So they're the sort of two heads of the same coin, if you know what I mean. Here we go. Gods of the Multiverse. This is what I was looking for. Okay, let's see here. Boom. Okay, so your gods of light would be Aphrodite, Apollo. Give me light, give me light, give me light. Those would be your two gods of light. If you're to steer specifically towards the light domain.
Aphrodite.
So, let's go with Aphrodite. I think they will most probably be more suited to helping out in that way.
I live to wonder if Cleric of Aphrodite would want to even leave.
Well, we don't know unless we ask her. Captain, your decision.
Let's try Apollo first. Apollo is sort of a spelljammer in his own right, riding his chariot across the sky.
Oh.
Almost fitting. So let's try them.
Absolutely, Captain.
Maybe they're more likely to be something of a wayfarer, so we'll go to the Temple of Apollo.
All right, Apollo it is.
Excuse me.
All right, you go to the Temple of Apollo. It is a very... Oh, actually, funny enough, you go there, and, it's a very interesting place where, the light comes through stained glass windows, but it's not very Catholic, it's not like that. It does depict sort of like Apollo and light. It kind of shapes the light to always make it feel a little warmer in here. And, there's people of all different acumen, but you would also note that there seems to be like a decent line of individuals who have come to visit the Pythia of Thessaly. This is where she resides, the woman who gave you your prophecy, Arendo. So I'll tell you what, make me a investigation or insight check to find a cleric who might be willing to come with you on your journey.
That's 22 on insight.
12 insight.
Okay. Fantastic. You're asking around, and you do hear about this one cleric who is known to be a bit of a pilgrim, or has had a history as a pilgrim. Definitely an acolyte who has traveled and and has adventured so much so that he has retrieved a relic of Apollo, and it has given him the title as the Warden of the Golden Bow. He protects a powerful magical item that is said to create arrows of sunlight when drawn. And he is sort of the protector of this relic of his faith. He is indeed a disciple of Apollo. He is renowned as a healer of plagues and a cleric of light, the light domain. So he is also considered dangerous to those who would defy the light of good.
I'll explain this and then just turn to the captain and just saying, are you okay with that kind of person on our ship?
You know, it's such a pain that very often the greatest healers are those who really don't get along with my kind of people. I think you'll... Between me and Callistra, it might not go down well. But the same would likely apply in the case of Aphrodite as well.
You can always shop for clerics. You can find a more agreeable Aphrodite cleric, but this is the one that's been presented.
The thing is, Captain, we are running short on time. We need someone. This person is very powerful within their magic, so...
Well, let's at least talk to them. Maybe if they understand what our mission is, they'll be more amicable to the company they'll be sharing.
Would you like me to do the talking, or are you going to?
Oh, I'll do it. Better it come from the captain.
Fair enough.
Okay. You were directed where to go, and you would find him at the Lumina Agora. And you find this broad-shouldered cleric with sort of golden bronze skin, hazel eyes, and sweeping gold hair with a golden laurel. He is wears a brooch with the sunburst of Apollo, and he is well equipped as a cleric of light would be required to, and he does indeed bear a bow that seems to be made of like solid gold and certainly glows with the light of the sun. He is being spoken to, I don't want to say fawned over, but certainly looked to as like a prominent religious entity. And you approach, presumably. He turns around and looks at you, and he will kind of say, hello, how can I be of assistance to you two?
I'd like to borrow a moment of your time to, well, I have a job proposal for you, if you would be interested.
How exciting. Of course, I'd be more than happy to hear. Allow me to introduce myself first. I am Alexios Theron, disciple of Apollo and warden of the Golden Bow.
I am Captain Etherith Voidlight from the Prophet's Demise, and this is Arendil Lunabow.
Honored to meet you both. You both have quite a reputation. I have heard of you.
And so have you, sir.
Sorry, what did you say?
And so have you.
I am honored. And he will walk with you, kind of hands behind his back, and says, so please tell me of this job that you have.
We and the Prophet's Demise are, well, we are hunting down an illithid, one who calls himself the Prophet, hence our ship's name. And we are in need of someone with, well, the skills of a priest, the ability to heal, to cure wounds.
I am most certainly capable of the healing craft, and I can do this for you. Healing is not an issue.
Well, this would be a dangerous journey. Illithid are dangerous and would be a significant journey off of Thessalys. We have a job that we need to take care of on on Scora, just to accrue some funds before we head for our main target.
See,
But there is a caveat. Etherith will kind of like take out the staff and kind of like tap it on the ground. I am a follower of Witch of the Crossroads, Lady of the Night, Hecate. I'm aware that our faiths may clash, but I am of the belief that in the interests of slaying such a great threat to not just great space, but beyond that, we should be able to set that aside
making a
and fight
persuasion.
against a common enemy.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry. I thought you were done. My apologies.
Yeah, that's fine. Ah, shit. 12.
Oof, buddy. He
Does
says,
me assisting with that help or not?
I don't think you did much to help. I'm not sure, right? Hey, you can.
No, no, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, cool. He says, darkness, deceit festers in the darkness. I have no problem traveling abroad to cast away the dark and evil things. Apollo's light reaches far, and so must I, but you are aware the worship of Hecate is illegal in Thessalys.
I am, and yet this is the position I find myself in. Doing something in essence, defense of Thessalys. This is the road I walk.
Hmm.
Would you turn me in, knowing what I'm trying to do?
No, I will not. Will not turn you in for speaking truth. That is the way of Apollo's truth. And you have been truthful and honest with me, and I will not punish you for it. It'd be quite a contradiction to my faith if I were to do so, I think. With that said, I don't abide liars. Hecate
We
is...
have,
Yes, sir.
we have a very mixed crew. A different faiths and beliefs. We will not be any different to anybody else on our ship. What we do need then is someone that is mighty of power in healing, and those that can help with the fight, which I believe you are. As Zeus's paladin, I urge you and ask you, please.
Make a persuasion check, everyone.
$17.
17. He looks at you and nods. He says, yes, I had heard that Paladin of Zeus had finally been named. You have been honest with me, and you have a great purpose that Apollo would certainly look wisely on. But you must understand, I do not abide liars, and I am a person of heroic honor. I will not have my honor besmirched. I am willing to abide people of questionable faiths, as long as you're willing to abide my faith.
Yeah, Thrift will shake his head.
Nod.
I understand your position, but having fought the Prophet once already, can only feel so acutely that such a condition would compromise my ability to make decisions that I believe would achieve the best future. So that's
I
something.
understand. It's understandable. And rest assured that I will not reveal your secrets, Captain.
Thank you.
I
It's not-
wonder whether you would know or anybody else that would be willing to join.
Well, you said you needed someone to heal you. There's any number of healers across Thessalys. Why do you come to me specifically? Is there something else that you think I can do for you?
Well, I mostly thought that as a follower of Apollo, that traveling would come much more naturally, and well, the alternative is to try with the Temple of Aphrodite, and I felt that that would be even less likely to achieve the desired result.
Well, if you are going there as your next stop, I could recommend one cleric to you, if you wish, who is similar skills as mine, but not exactly the same. She is not so much based in prophecy as Apollo, but she does have command over light. She does have command over healing, and she is well traveled. Her name is Thalia Marine, and she is actually nymph-born. Her mother is a lesser god. She is very lovely, and we have traveled together before. She is exceptional, and I expect might be a little bit more open-minded than myself, shall we say. Perhaps she might be your fit.
Thank you for the recommendation. Maybe won't keep you further.
You always walk in the light of it. And he will give you a respectful bow of the head and leave you to your business.
Difficult part. Well, that was optimistic on my part.
It was a good try, Captain.
Well, we could try his recommendation, but I think if I'm going to have any luck with this, I'll have to try something different. What are the odds, like, because I know that, like, would Hecate herself count as, like, a celestial pact for a warlock?
So she technically could fit the bill, but she's probably much more steered towards the powers of, undeath and life and so on and so forth. It wouldn't be outside the realm of impossibility, but from what you've found on Thessalys and the cult, you haven't run across any celestial warlocks.
Okay. Because I'm kind of resigned to the fact that I'm probably going to look somewhere a little bit more morally flexible within Thessalys. Either somewhere in the Undercity or
Well, you could try this Dahlia. He did say she was a little bit more morally flexible. I'm not going to send you on a rat run forever. This is I gave you the what you'd expect.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's try Aphrodite then.
Yeah.
You go to the Temple of Aphrodite. They refer you to just outside of Thessalys, another Temple of Aphrodite. It's a little bit more remote. So you two kind of go on a little bit of a cute boat ride together, rowing across the water. They refer you to, where does she live? Where is her temple? She lives on this very small temple isle in the middle of. Remember that lake that your ship flew into?
Yeah.
She lives on like one of the islands, a very small island there, where there is a sanctuary to Aphrodite there, and you two kind of rent a rowboat to get out there. It's basically free. The city supplies it so you can get out there. And you come to this very nice place where there's only a sparse few, and they refer you to the cleric. You find this lovely cleric woman. She seems to almost glow, figuratively, maybe even literally, if your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. She has long, shimmering hair that is molten rose gold colored. It cascades in waves down the back of her hair. There's sort of like the scent of myrtle, like the flower myrtle, as you approach her. She has soft golden eyes like sunset, and she wears robes of translucent silk layered in pinks and golds and creams. They're mostly transparent, but layered just enough that you can't quite see, but it doesn't leave a lot to the imagination. She is youthful. She is lovely. Yeah. There's also a bit of like a subtle fae-ness to her features. Not like super kind of strange and elongated, like maybe like the Elder Scrolls elves, but very subtle, almost half-elf-esque, where there's that kind of, it's human, but just with that sort of like spotless perfection to her, to the features of her skin, to her eyes, smell and brutal about her. See two friends come to join us on our island. Perhaps?
His eyes like, I don't even like what you're insinuating right now.
Well, you've come to the wrong island then.
Allow us to introduce ourselves. I am Captain Netherith Void Light of the Prophet's Demise, and this is my, I don't know,
companion.
Crew commander Arenlo, who is seemingly quite happily pursuing my sister.
Oh, Aphrodite sends you here to be sure. Very well. So
that part might have already, but that's just.
But it's all irrelevant because we're not here on matters of love. We're actually on here on matters of death.
You're saying, Captain, you bought it up?
No.
She's like watching you like she sees the drama thick between you two, and she's like, yeah? Why? Sorry, why? Yes, of course.
We are hunting, well, we are hunting an illithid that calls himself the Prophet, and we find ourselves lacking a crew member able to heal our wounds and is otherwise, let's say, blessed with divine power. And you have been recommended to us.
Oh, that's nice. A mind flare? Gross. Well, Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty, and if I have to burn away ugliness, you know. But it certainly sounds like something Aphrodite would want me to do, and you two are just, why I like Aphrodite the most of the gods? Because there's the most drama. You get when people come to Aphrodite, there's drama, and I can't help but love tea. Anyway, so you come to me because for no personal reasons, but that you want me to help you destroy something ugly.
Yes.
Yes, unfortunately, some of us are taken. Others aren't. So I do apologise, but I can promise you, there will be drama. We will love it on our ship.
Oh, I know already. Oh. Well, excellent. If there was ever a sign from Aphrodite, this is it. I mean, look at you two. You hate you're just, the drama is thick, and you want me to help you kill something that's truly dreadfully ugly to look at. I mean, what more can a cleric ask for? So, what's the catch?
The catch is you may not like the crew.
Oh, are you all very horrendous looking, or mean, or generally nonsense people? No, everyone's nonsense people. That's not a problem. I prefer nonsense people.
Well, I and another are, let's say, practitioners of dark arts. And the prophet is quite the threat, not just to Thessalys' great space. Its threat extends far beyond the astral sea and other crystal spheres.
Okay.
And such a threat would require, demands that a certain level of ruthlessness, decision-making. I can't afford to be kind and accommodating to every single stranger I ever meet when I'm aware that a being that is orchestrating their imminent destruction lurks in the shadows.
You know what they say, all is fair in love and war. And Aphrodite is the lover of the god of war, so... And there's love for everybody, even cultists of dark gods. I mean, Aphrodite's lover, Ares, his worship's outlawed as well, but we've been known to worship in our own way. Warriors. I mean, if there were no warriors, they'd fight over us. So, that's all to say. Sounds very dramatic, very juicy. When do I start?
As soon as possible. I hope you don't mind cramped spaces. The crew has become quite... Our ship is essentially fully manned at this point, so no private room, I don't think.
I'll work something.
I'm gonna say something really, really, really crass there, so I'll just hold my tongue. But it's the turtle ship at the Thessalys dock.
Turtles? Like a sea turtle?
Yes, we will be going underwater. There's a job we need to complete on a scorer, and you'll very, very easily spot it because of the bronze cannon that's been fitted on the front. It's quite the sight.
Oh, you know, Aphrodite is like she's a little bit like a sea goddess, just like a little bit, like beaches and nice shorelines, like sunbathing. Definitely the goddess of sunbathing. This is perfect. A sea turtle. Cute. By chance, can you just like I'm in, but just like as long as it's the three of us, is there like where should I start? You know, like is there any like very clear romantic tension on the ship that I should like know about?
Etherith just turns around and is like, just talk to Arendelle. I want no part in any of it.
That sounds like yes. Let me just get my things. I will be long. She kind of sort of frolics towards the main building.
Etherith just like walk outside and just start kind of like thumping his head against the side of the wall. It's like, dunk, dunk. This is why I didn't want to come here.
To be fair, Captain, you led with that. You started it. What more did you expect?
I did not like at all the insinuation that me and you would ever. The very suggestion of it was vile.
Oh,
I am utterly and totally offended.
I'm not made for any of that. I have partaken in plenty as a recreational activity, but I've just no. No,
Let
no,
me
no.
let me just pick with these, Captain. Not my time. Your sister.
Good for you. You two have fun.
she comes back out. She's going for. She's like, I'll be back soon, and she definitely takes like a while. She probably takes like half an hour, and she comes back out with what looks to be like a very stylish bag of holding, sort of like more like a purse kind of. She has like this very pretty tiara. She has a staff that looks like a golden rod with almost like a pink and red sort of like flared nimbus at the top, of pink and gold shifting hues. And that's pretty much it. She said, okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Well, just follow us and you can... Brenda will tell you all about the drama surrounding him and my sister, and I'll just stay quiet.
Okay. So, Amanda, how long have you been seeing the captain's sister? And she will...
What a way to put it.
Do you know what? I'm just going to tell her everything and just be making sure that Etherith can hear every single little bit of detail.
And she's you know, she's in it. She's in the team. Oh my god, that's so good. Yeah, that's how you met. That's wonderful. And she'll hear the whole story on the way back to the ship. You will recall that there is one more arcane lens if you wanted to hire an additional mage. And that one I think is a little bit more loose for you. So, you know, take a minute to figure out what you'd like to do there. But I will... Well, it's about that time, isn't it? Yeah. So next session, we will hire an additional mage, and Basan will give you a chance to get some stuff done around Thessalys, and you guys have a mission to complete. And with the knowledge that we will be moving into the other game, the plot will sort of fate will steer, destiny will steer. Your destiny will come upon you perhaps a little faster than it meant to last time, but fear not, it will be done so to the best of my ability with elegance and fulfillment for all involved.
The real reason Etherith didn't want to go to Aphrodite is because, like, after the whole ritual thing, Etherith was kind of sworn off of, like, mortal attachment. He wants to ascend to godhood. And rather than be like whining at his mother's feet, try and like stand as equals with her. and mortal attachments just aren't really good for ascending to godhood.
So, how perfect. I totally didn't mean to steer it this way, but how perfect. Because we got Basan and Saeed. We got Callistra and Arendelle. We got Ethereth, who has sworn off personal attachment. This is the perfect person to come on the ship. Someone who knows their business to help people with their personal relationships.
I think it's going to be my mission.
And Bisan is actually about to go make a small offering to Aphrodite and to Athena. That is literally what she's going to be doing, is making small in size but deep in personal meaning, which probably doesn't mean much to them, but
Absolutely. You know what, before we go, just because it'll be perfect, we'll play it out more, if that is to your preference, next session, but just the result. I want you to make me a persuasion check to the Temple of Athena, because I'm sure you want to show them your stories you found, if I'm not mistaken.
So what she's going to do is, to the best of her recollection, try to draw out sort of as much as she can, and without betraying what happened to them, who the entity was in Hephaestus controlling that. She was actually just going to go in and meditate in that space because she has, and then leave that as an offering.
So cool of you, dude. Okay, we'll leave that as an offering. This is a significant offering that you're making.
Shit, I actually thought it was just like my artwork. Bisan doesn't know.
Yeah, Amazon doesn't know. But you leave an offering of lost knowledge and past wisdoms and like lost stories. This is about as intense an offering as one can provide to the goddess of knowledge, and it will be received well. So, with that said, we're gonna hook you up. Athena. I want to give you a decent blessing here, Basan. You are about to receive one for sure. As we have a couple minutes here, I want to get you those trinkets or objects. Where are the? I feel like I can't find anything in the new books. It's such a pain.
If you want to put a pin in that and just take care of that next week, you said we would play that out.
Yeah, we'll deal with it next week. But we'll do that next week. But clearly, you're gonna go do like an offering to Aphrodite or whatever, and you're gonna come back to the ship and in quite like okay, like spirit of love will appear.
the offering to Aphrodite, she'll go get like a really nice bottle of perfume, and then all of the she'd spent a day just sketching lovers and sketching the things that happened, and she'll go to spend time with Aphrodite as just as a thank you, because she realizes that that's a path that she has to sacrifice, and with I think a lot of sadness will offer the perfume and the pictures as a thank you for her time and for her consideration.
And in true Aphrodite fashion, being the goddess of love, and we know love rarely does what we ask of it, a cleric, an advisor of love, will be in your face for the next little while. So you're like, thanks Aphrodite, but no thanks. She was like, excuse me.
No, the idea of being with Saeed and being happy and that vision was incredibly drawing to Bisan, but also there is a deeper sense of love in freeing an enslaved people, and so you make that sacrifice for greater love.
Oh, you can make as many sacrifices as you love. That doesn't mean love as more as you want. It doesn't mean love isn't coming for you.
Oh no! Listen, Visan thinks she's serving the greater. She has no idea. Like, no, Carmen knows what happens when you're like, I wish I could have this, and Aphrodite's like,
It's like, oh, you think? You think so? So we'll get back to that in time.
teehee.